Well, welcome to today's rant. And sorry, my lighting's so poor in here. I'm not very good at doing that on the inside, but it is still pouring down outside, so I didn't want to do my rant today from inside, but wanted to give you an update. We're basically been pretty good here on the heritage property. We're still have power, no major trees down yet or anything, and but all over the area, the emergency is increasing, and the flooding is just beginning in one county. I mean, I just caught part of the broadcast. It sounded like they said one county nearby had 70 road closings in 1 hour. Now, it could have been they were closing, but they just got all the reports in 1 hour. They said the reports were coming in for road closings too fast to handle right then. They almost couldn't post them fast enough. And virtually everywhere. Because, there's streams and creeks. You drive around, everywhere there is, there are streams and creeks. They rise. These are rising dramatically. I think they're catching quite a few people off guard how fast this is happening. And we know it's just beginning. The real peak of the floods won't happen for several more days. The peak comes about 3 days after the rains have finished. And we're still getting a deluge right now, and it's been going on for a couple of days. Hopefully it will end here tonight. But trees and power lines are coming down. People are being cut off from power. They are out there working to restore it as fast as they can. But there's still a lot of people without power. Wilmington on the coast is still getting hammered. They are still getting terrible rain. I mean, huge amounts of rain. The floods are just now beginning down there as well, and they already have so much damage. So anyway, it's, what we pretty much projected and expected. But I've waited till today to talk about one aspect of this that, I'm trying to, my thought for doing these is preparation. People prepared for what's coming. I've been through a lot of these. I don't know I've ever been through flooding like we're facing here right now and all over North Carolina and much of South Carolina. But, here's one aspect. I have been in hurricane floods. All the critters are getting flooded too. And they want to survive like everyone else. They're just trying to get on anything high they can. Now, you may have seen some of the videos on the news of people out there wading through water, and there goes an alligator by them. In the South, we have that problem, but it's another problem that I don't want to, give anyone, make anyone overly fearful, but I've seen porches covered in snakes. They're just trying to live too. They're just trying to survive too. But my point is, when you go outside, if you have to go outside, watch your feet. Watch where you're putting your feet. Watch where you're walking. Of course, most snakes aren't poisonous, and like I said, they have a right to try to survive too. But it is a danger. And when you're out there, if you think it's fun to just go wading around out there in the water, you don't know what you're wading around with out there. So I'm just saying, that's an issue too. Of course, we had the video yesterday that went viral from the Weather Channel of one of their guys. They like to have people out there in the wind, bracing against the wind and the rain, and just to demonstrate how strong it was. And one of them was doing that when two teenagers just go strolling by like nothing's happened. This guy's bracing like he's about to fall down the wind, and these two kids walk by behind him. It really was funny. And caught. I mean, I don't care. They've tried to put all kinds of spin on it. Caught. And my point is, I've been, watching the Weather Channel. I was one of the first Weather Channel fans as a pilot. When it first came on, I couldn't believe how much more weather information we could get from the Weather Channel than just about any other source, how accurate it was, how they raised the standard of weather forecasting, did so many great things for that. But also, during crises, their ratings go way up, and they are trying to sensationalize things. And then when you get caught like that, you can't believe all the videos being made, spoofs on the Weather Channel today. And that's a shame. They are funny. I like humor. I like to laugh, and some of them are really funny. But sad thing is, the danger's real. We don't need to exaggerate. We don't need to pretend. You get out in a hurricane, you'll see what it is. Just the rain hitting you feels like BB's hitting you. And but anyway, let's don't go overboard either. Have fun with the spoofs, but also we need to take this really seriously. And there are other weather sources. And so, if you lose your trust in Weather Channel, I think that would be a sad thing, because they are doing such a great service to us. Now, I also wanted to mention one thing here, that, we are taking up, anyone that would like to donate, we will be using anything sent in, and thank you for all the generous donations you've made. But understand, we're a small ministry. You think, how much can we do? And we're trying to do small things, but do them well. And we're going to be working through churches mostly. We've already had some requests come in for churches that would like for us to help them provide food and things like that. I had to turn the first ones down, not because we didn't want to help them, but because I was afraid that sending our people that far, halfway across the state, they wouldn't get there in the first place because of all the road closings. But they got there, they very unlikely wouldn't get back to us without being stranded somewhere. So we're a little ministry. We're going to do what we can to help people around here. And but if you want to give to a larger organization, one that really can make a huge difference and will make a huge difference in this crisis and other crises, I just want to highly recommend Samaritan's Purse. Of all the charities and disaster response teams I know of, they're the best. They're the most professional, well-organized, well-led, well-managed, credible resources. Most of our people that mobilize now for crises do it with Samaritan's Purse. We did a joint thing on training chaplains with the Billy Graham Ministries, and we have a lot of our chaplains mobilized with Billy Graham Ministry, and we have many others that mobilize with Samaritan's Purse, and we just highly recommend them. And I'm saying this because there's so many charities, large charities, that people have just a knee-jerk reaction to donating to, that I think are not doing a very good job of getting most of the resources to the actual needs. It happens, and they go through cycles. I know a small church can become a bureaucracy pretty quick. And that's not a bird chirping, by the way. That's my, smoke alarm. Started chirping. We tried to change batteries in it and everything. It keeps chirping. Sorry about that. But anyway, that's my point. If I give, I want to see it get to needs. And I so appreciate the generosity and incredible generosity of the American people, of Christians especially. And it's disheartening when you read how so much of what we give to some organizations don't actually make it to the needs. I think you can trust Samaritan's Purse to get it there. I'm just saying that. But anyway, we're doing pretty good. I was a little concerned last night, with the wind and all the trees I'm sitting under right now, that, this kind of thing happens, where trees come over. But we haven't lost a single tree yet. We're in good shape. I'm dry, still have power. I think we're going to remain that way at Heritage. Jim Baker built that property as a place of refuge, city of refuge. And we believe it is supposed to be that. And God has therefore put it in a safe place. So anyway, we're just getting started on this. And we know it's going to be a long time for a lot of people to recover what's going on. That's okay. One of my greatest heroes in church history or history altogether was John Amos Comenius. He's called the father of modern education. I think one of the greatest Christians in church history. Ultimately published, I think, around 200 books, a little over 200 books, manuscripts. This is 1600s when you have to write by hand. And but 3 times he got trapped between battles and wars and conflicts. 3 times all of his manuscripts got burned, got destroyed. You know what his response was? Well, the Lord must have known that if I wrote those again, I could do them better this time than I did the first time. He'd just start over. And, nothing happens that the Lord doesn't allow, and he causes all things to work together for good. So we have to just look at whatever comes and say, okay, it's going to work for good. If whatever loss we suffer in stuff, it is just stuff. Maybe he's trying to help simplify our life. That's one of the things I've been hearing for years. I've been saying for years, one of the most important things for us to do, get rid of the clutter in our lives so we're free to be used by God and when he needs us. And so when these things happen, when they come, let's keep the joy of the Lord. Because he will turn it into good. I don't care what happens. Really, thank you for your prayers and all. Many of you are still asking about our beach house, and that's one of my chief joys. I love that place. And I don't know, if it's there or not. We still don't know. I'll let you know as soon as we find out something. And I feel it for my neighbors there even more. They just built a great house right next door to us down there, and that's their full-time residence. If our house is gone, theirs is probably gone too. But I don't think they're gone, but we probably endured some pretty severe damage. They may be gone. If okay, we rebuild. That's how it goes. Or we seek the Lord, maybe wants us to do something else, but that's okay. It's time to move on if that's the case. But let's just take everything. Okay, God has a reason for it. It's going to work for good. So start looking for the good in it. Remember, Paul said, through many tribulations shall we enter the kingdom of God. So in every trial or tribulation, there's a doorway to the kingdom. Don't ever forget that. Thank you.